direct, clean. But it was designed to fix itself in the mind. Repetition, color, tone, it wasn't sent to inform. It was sent to condition. He showed me a portable radio that had been disassembled. The wires were black, as if burned. Every device that receives the signal is corroded, but not physically. The corrosion is mental. First you agree to stay home. Then you agree not to look out the window. Then you agree that you don't need to go out anymore. Until the thought of going out doesn't even exist. A woman in the group, with hollow eyes and trembling fingers, said her husband started repeating phrases a week before the alert. She said he had already received the call, and that after that, he just smiled and said everything was better now. Clark showed me hand-drawn images representing signal patterns, spiral waves, truncated texts. These shapes repeat in the visual alerts. They get stuck in the brain like a virus. Most people accept it. Some, like us, resist. But for how long? I remained silent. My stomach churned. The alert, which until then I had treated as a strange warning, was part of the contamination. There were no sirens because the threat wasn't external. It was inside everyone's head, planted there with a phrase and a color. Before leaving, Clark handed me a sheet of paper with notes. There was a hand-drawn map marking the center of town, where an old emergency transmission truck was located. According to him, that's where the signals were coming from. If you can shut that down, maybe there'll be time for the few who still resist. What about you? I asked. I've seen the alert for too long. I returned home by the same route, avoiding the glazed eyes of those peeking through windows. Upon arrival, I closed all the curtains, turned off all remaining appliances, and sat on the floor, looking at the crumpled paper in my hands. For the first time, I felt there was something bigger than just a system error. And that my mind had been molding for days, perhaps from the very first moment I looked at that red screen. But now, I knew, in the following days, I started to notice that something inside me was changing. It wasn't physical, my body was still the same. I still looked at myself in the mirror with that expression of accumulated tiredness. But my thoughts, they began to repeat themselves. I noticed patterns in my own sentences. I would think something and, seconds later, repeat it in a low voice, as if trying to convince myself. Sometimes, I would write something in the notebook Clark